Anderson and Klingenberg. Nice one-touch stuff. Ohai to Jackson. Jackson with some space. Jackson tried to slip it through to Ohai. Just a little too much mustard on that one, but Ohai dancing along the back line of Boston.
I think we should point out, you're talking about the top and bottom of the table. We've also have the youngest team in women's pro soccer and the oldest team in women's pro soccer here. Boston's the only franchise that has played in every season, in every iteration of women's pro soccer in the U.S. in the same city.
Sierra looking for O'Reilly. Those two won't quite hook up, but O'Reilly and Mewis alike, the two outside backs here for Boston, not shy at all about jumping into the attack for the Breakers.
After a crazy week last week for the Dash, as you'd mentioned, scheduling, they flew up to New Jersey, couldn't play due to a 4-hour weather delay, and then ended up having a 12-hour travel delay. This week, very different, lots of good practices. As Randy Waldrum said, 2 of the best, most intense practices the team has ever had. So he's really looking for a win tonight.
Berger challenging. Whitehill comes away with it though, looking for Reeves. O'Hale and Romero can't keep it in. So Boston breaks the pressure. Will pick up possession in the Houston half. We apologize for any earlier technical difficulties for those of us following along on the internet stream. Hope we have those issues figured out. We're told that we do. Kyle intercepts. Finds Berger. Berger, of course, the all-time leading scorer for the Austrian women's national team. Second all-time in caps for Austria.
Wish we could get TV of Austria's last few Women's World Cup qualifiers. They've got a chance to sneak in there and get one of the 4 playoff berths.
The international game on everybody's mind right now. World Cup final coming up this weekend. O'Reilly to Schefter. Schefter trying to find Reeves. A miscommunication here between Engen and Klingenberg nearly allows Courtney Jones to get in. But a good recovery from the U.S. duo. 25th minute, 1-0 Boston. Goal coming 4 minutes in from Katie Schefter. Schefter, a longtime part of the U.S. U23 program from 2008 to 2011. Engen knocks it off Reeves here, and the Dash will get a throw-in.
Well, and speaking of Women's World Cup qualifying, it was made official this week that Randy Waldrum is going to be the volunteer head coach for the Trinidad and Tobago women's national team as they go into the Caribbean qualifying tournament next month. The team is actually arriving in Houston in a couple of days. They're going to train here for a month before they go back to Trinidad and Tobago for the tournament. They know that Randy won't join them in Trinidad until the Dash season is over, but they're going to attempt to be one of the 2 Caribbean teams that makes it to the CONCACAF tournament in October.
The expanded field for Canada 2015, certain to give us some first-time participants. TNT hoping to be among them. That's a cool story for Randy. He'll get to dabble a little bit in the international game.
He was their U17 women's coach back in 2008 as they attempted to qualify for the 2008 Women's World Cup for U17. So he has some connections there. It wasn't out of the blue that they called him, and he told me this had been brewing for a while. They just had to finally get all the details in place for them to come train in Houston.
Heather O'Reilly running out of options. She'll send it to Reeves. Jones there to challenge. O'Hale caught wrong-footed, and here comes Boston. Schefter on the ball. Schefter and Romero. Shepfer back across for Reeves. Engen there to knock it away. Maddie Evans deals with a difficult touch. Looking for Mewis.
Evans earned a somewhat dubious red card in a 3-3 tie for Boston at Washington Spirit. Another game with lightning delay played on that same night that Houston and Sky Blue would have played. I think it was 4 or 5 yellows, a red, 3 PKs, 1 lightning delay. Very crazy night for Boston.
Reeves and Engen. Reeves into the box. Reeves with the cross. Dangerous. Still in play here for Boston. Maddie Evans on it. Offers one-time service back in. Jones in the area, but McLeod. With the confident catch for the Canadian goalkeeper. Must be said, a slow start for the Dash here tonight. Boston with the better of play. Well read from Megan Klingenberg. Her pass in, finds Ohai. Berger with the slide tackle. Ohai keeps it alive. Becky Edwards to Kyle. Kyle, nice ball to Henderson. Does well to bring it down. Henderson, a fancy touch into the middle. Henderson over the top. Jackson nods it on. Berger down. No penalty kick. The fans wanted it. Berger wanted it. The Dash coaching staff wanted it, but center ref Bernard Hosu says no dice. And Boston may have dodged a bullet. Let's get a second look.
Nina Berger's not happy about that one. But it's kind of hard to tell. It looks like she fell and then the defender kind of walked over her.
Bianca D'Agostino, the defender involved there. I gotta say, on a second look, it didn't quite seem as bad at full speed. Credit to the head ref for making a difficult decision without the benefit of replay. Ohai against Mewis. It's gonna be a tough matchup all night for Kalia. It's our player to watch, and now she gets in. Ohai with space to cross. She'll do so. Long to the back stick and out of bounds for a goal kick. A reminder for all your updates on the Houston Dynamo, Houston Dash, TSU football, and more. Make sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. It's at BBVA Compass Stadium. That's BBVA Compass STDM. Mewis over the top. McLeod plays with her feet to Klingenberg. Here's Berger. Berger with a fancy touch, goes right around O'Reilly. And what I would deem a professional foul from the longtime U.S. international. Long way from goal, worth stopping the Houston attack in its tracks.
We've seen such an upgrade in player talent for the Dash, and you look at the bench and they've got a full squad of 7 substitutes, but I don't see the cohesion coming together yet for, this talent playing together and raising the level of the whole team.
You've got Klingenberg essentially getting her first minutes at left back. Henderson, first couple days with the team in the starting lineup. You mentioned Jordan Jackson, her first start since May, so even the players that have been here a while are maybe playing new roles as Randy Waldrum tries to tinker and find that ideal 11. But he does have some great options here off the bench, especially should Houston need a goal late to get back into this thing. Ella Masser, certainly the first name that pops into my mind. We saw one of her big goals against Boston earlier this year, the first in franchise history. She has a knack not just for the big goal, but for the historic goal.
And the dramatic follow-up, the dramatic celebration.
We have not heard much from Melissa Henderson, again, brought over Wednesday from FC Kansas City in exchange for a third-round draft pick next year. Gets the immediate start here for her college coach, Randy Waldrum, but perhaps having some trouble fitting in.
Well, one of the things that impressed me as I was researching Melissa Henderson was an article about her after the 2010 College Cup that Notre Dame won. And we'll come back to that.
Ohio has it stripped here in the final third.
And Randy described her as a striker who can lead the way, that maybe she's not scoring, but she's allowing everyone else around her to score. So maybe it's her runs off the ball and combination play that can really make the difference for this team.
Game opens up here to the right-hand side for Romero. Romero in, plenty of bodies in the box. Jackson nearly first to it. Credit Listenaire off her line and gathers on the bobble. 33rd minute, Dash coming close, still trail 1-0.
Great ball in. Jackson's almost there, and behind her, there's Melissa Henderson waiting to poach that ball if Nair doesn't get her hand on it.
So perhaps Houston coming to life here with 15 minutes to play in the first half. Certainly a good sign as the right back Ari Romero gets involved. O'Hale and Reeves in a one-on-one battle. Reeves will win it and keep the ball for Boston. O'Reilly and Klingenberg. O'Reilly, Klingenberg denies. And in the battle of U.S. internationals, it's Klingenberg that comes out on top right there. Henderson fighting with Bianca Sierra. Ball last touched by Houston's newest player. O'Reilly nods it on. No real pressure here from Boston, and it'll be McLeod out to pick it up. McLeod finding Klingenberg. And boy, it does not matter how tight the window is. Erin McLeod's going to try and thread it through to her outside backs. Randy Waldrum, the clear idea in how he wants his team to play. Build out of the back through those outside defenders.
And Melissa Henderson was part of the second NCAA title that Randy Waldrum earned at Notre Dame, the 2010 team beating Teresa Noyola's Stanford 1-0.
Of course, Noyola on the bench tonight for the Dash, but continuing to work through her injury issues. Saw her a couple days ago still in that walking boot, so no real clear signal from the team when she could be set to return. Jackson nearly loses it. And now Boston takes over.
And speaking of injured Dash players, we're going to be talking to one at halftime.
That's right, Lauren Sesselman set to join us here in the booth, the Canadian international, recovering from a torn ACL. Her and Brittany Bach with season-ending knee injuries. You talk about what Randy Waldrum and this staff have had to deal with in 2014. Klingenberg, service into the box. Couple options there. Berger seemed to be in an offside position, but Boston allowed to play on. O'Reilly back to Sierra. Berger nods it on. Ohio fighting with Kat Whitehill. And it's experience over youth there as the veteran defender knocks it out for a corner kick. Good opportunity here, though, for the Dash to perhaps find an equalizer. 36th minute, Houston trails 1-0. Megan Klingenberg up from her left spot to take the corner kick. Six Houston Dash players into the box as they hope to put one past Alyssa Nair. Make it 7 as Henderson joins on the backside. Klingenberg service. Nair away, only to Jackson. Jackson with the volley. Blocked. Ohio gets to it. Henderson with plenty of time. Henderson, the cross. Ohale, the header. Nair with the save. Field tilting towards the Boston Breakers goal here late in the first half.
Ohale gets a nice head on it, but it's an easy one for Nair to pick up. Would have been Ohale's second goal of the season. They're finding their rhythm. They're just not there yet.
D'Agostino almost pulled the trigger on a long ball. Instead, plays it short to Jones. Lohman operating in front of the Boston back four. Jones drives it Engen, now plays it wide to Jasmine Reeves. Reeves and Klingenberg in a one-on-one. And Klingenberg wins it. Can she keep it in? No. But the attack stymied at least momentarily for Boston. Klingenberg. And you can see, despite her diminutive stature, Klingenberg awfully tough. You were telling me she's a third-degree black belt? Is that correct?
Yeah, in Taekwondo.
Incredible.
After the game, everyone needs to Google Megan Klingenberg Taekwondo because she actually demonstrates some of her moves on the PR guy from U.S. Soccer. Her father made her take the classes because he was afraid that she was pretty small and shy as a little kid.
Klingenberg sends it forward, well cut out by Heather O'Reilly. O'Reilly really impressing tonight in this right back spot. If she's uncomfortable there, it certainly doesn't show through 39 minutes.
Well, in this season, Tom Durkin certainly has been open to experimenting with whatever works for this team. After they had a long losing streak, he pulled most of the starters and put in rookies, and they had their first win against Portland of all teams. So he's open to whatever works. Randy Waldrum said it's always hard to figure out what lineup to play against him because he doesn't know who's he's going to put where.
Boston 3-11-2 on the season, sitting on just 11 points. Nina Berger rises for the header in the box. Not in a position to get much on it, though. Nair gathers. Want to win 2 tickets to the Houston Dash vs. Washington Spirit match on July 17th? Here's how. Text prize to 69050 for your chance to win. And it seems a bit odd to say this about Boston. They haven't won in their last 4, 2 losses and a tie, but they've played better. Those 2 draws coming against Sky Blue and Washington, and then a pair of 1-goal losses against 2 of the better teams in the league over the last couple weeks. Seattle, of course, and Western New York as well.
They led for most of the match against Washington, and I mean, they looked so good against Seattle, especially with Nair's playing goal. Though Seattle has shown that they don't have a problem giving up the first goal and coming back to win. And Boston was just out of playoff contention last season. They had 30 points. Sky Blue was 4th with 36, so they were just out of it last season.
Shepfer already with a goal tonight. Sparks the attack here is Maddie Evans. On her right foot, sends it in. Engen ducks down to head it away. Back to Evans. Evans hounded by Jordan Jackson. O'Reilly, a clever little chip. Jones in, but she's offsides.
And of course, with a last name like Jones, it's not going to ring a bell, but did you know her dad, Brent Jones, won 3 Super Bowl titles with the San Francisco 49ers?
It may not ring a bell for some. It definitely does for me. I was one of those kids that was really into fantasy football back in the day, and Brent Jones was on at least 2 or 3 of my fantasy football teams.
So you don't get my Cheers references, but you get the fantasy NFL. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I see how it is.
There's a reason that I don't want to say why I don't get the cheering references, okay? But it's different.
Can we tell the viewing audience that you're really just 13?
From some of the YouTube comments, I know they already think it. 42nd minute. Dash trail 1-0 here at BBVA Compass Stadium. Boston looking for more, but Whitney Engen having none of it. And the Dash may have a rare chance to run at an exposed Boston back line until Kaylin Kyle takes a long touch. And we've got a collision at midfield. Maddie Evans stays down. I think both players went knee to knee right there. Kyle not exactly moving well at the moment. Evans part of the four-man midfield along with Lohman, D'Agostino, and Jones. We get a second look at the contact here.
It looked like they got stepped on. Minimal contact, but must have been, I don't know, a cleat to the ankle?
Tough to tell. I don't think there was any intent from Kyle, but...
Or maybe she just stepped funny. I mean, like landed funny.
Evans up and walking now. The Breakers players taking advantage in this Houston humidity of a chance to rehydrate. Talked to Erin McLeod earlier this week, and she said one of the things that was most disappointed about their recent losses at home was that they faded late. They felt like in this heat and humidity, they should have the advantage over the visitors. They had a nutrition class, a hydration class, so the Dash certainly addressing some of the issues that have plagued them over the last couple of weeks.
I think they're learning the lesson that the Dynamo learned in 2006 is ultimately there's no way to take advantage of the heat. It affects both teams adversely. But we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, there is a difference, though, between being properly hydrated and not. And I think
True.
That's something that players, until they've really hit a wall in a game, and I've heard this from Theron Enns, guys on the Dynamo over the last couple years, that until you've really hit that wall and you see the effects of not hydrating, you can tell these players all you want about humidity. But until they've lived it, they don't really learn that lesson. And it is almost an obsession. And talking to some of the Dynamo guys, it's 8, 10, 12 water bottles a day. That's away from the practice field, away from the facility. And it'll take a while for the Dash players to get into that rhythm because it really is a kind of 24/7 commitment.
Especially with the very tight travel schedules. That's got to make it tough, too, because that's always dehydrating as well.
Mewis and Romero crashing into each other. Mewis maintains her balance, keeps the ball, and finds D'Agostino. Agostino with a chance to shoot, and Shed sprays it wide to O'Reilly. O'Reilly one-touch ball in, and if not for Megan Klingenberg, that may have well been a second goal just before the half for Boston. Instead, corner kick to the visitors. Looks like Courtney Jones will take it. Key moment here for both sides. Jones service to the back post, headed in. And it took a tag team there of Whitney Engen and Jordan Jackson to get that ball out of the box. We've hit the 45th minute here. No signal yet from the fourth official as to how much added time we'll have. In the meantime, Romero will put it in play. Henderson, we see flashes of brilliance from her so far here in the first half. Some great touches in tight quarters. Has yet to lead to a real attacking opportunity for Houston. Here's Megan Klingenberg turning out of trouble, does well. Kyle hauled down. And a chance here for the Dash to maybe get one last opportunity before the strike of halftime. Whitney Engen sending the entirety of the Dash midfield forward. as she plays it towards the Boston area. Jackson heads it on, and Mewis wisely leaves it for Alyssa Nair, who falls on the ball. Center ref Bernard Hosu whistles halftime. After 45 minutes, Megan Klingenberg and the Houston Dash trail the Boston Breakers. It's a full moon here in Houston. When we return, first half highlights. Dash down 1-0 at the break.
As a BBVA Compass customer, you have the chance to show your true colors every time you open your wallet.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Presenting Dynamo Banking, featuring debit and credit card options that can help you reach your goals. Open your account today at any of our 80 locations in Houston or online at bbvacompass.com/dynamo. Team works in soccer and in banking.
Making isotopes that can detect Alzheimer's before any symptoms occur. That's the difference between practicing medicine and leading it. Houston Methodist, leading medicine.
Before and after every game, watch Dynamo pre- and post-game live, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
I don't think anybody is more conscious of the fact that he's still to score on the biggest stage than Wayne himself. He needs to make a difference.
Wayne, he's going to put it in the back of the net. Will he score, Wayne? Will he make it up, Wayne?
The question is, can Neymar live up to the number 10 legend?
E foi assim, ano passado, que Portugal venceu graças a Ronaldo. Ficou...
Welcome back. On the east edge of downtown Houston, after 45 minutes, the Dash tailed the Boston Breakers 1-0 at the break. Sebastian Salazar, Jen Cooper here with you at BBVA Compass Stadium. 1-0 at the half. Your thoughts on the opening 45?
Well, we're seeing a very different Dash, a lot of changes in the lineup. I think an upgrade in player ability, but we're not seeing the cohesion yet where it's really going to pay off for the team. I think we're starting to see flashes of brilliance from Jordan Jackson. So glad to see her back in the starting lineup, and also from Alyssa Henderson. But the question is it going to pay off in the second half, and can they hold Boston Breakers scoreless for the rest of the game?
Houston looking to avoid a fourth straight loss. Let's check out the highlights from the first half, and this game got off to a quick start for the visitors. Heather O'Reilly with an early ball over the top. Katie Shepfer one-on-one with Erin McLeod, and she scores to make it 1-0. Good distribution here from the right back spot for Boston.
Brilliant decision by Tom Durkin to put Heather O'Reilly in that right back spot. Not where you think he would play her, but she can feed the ball pinpoint precision.
Another right back gets involved here. Ari Romero into Jordan Jackson. The two former Nebraska Cornhuskers almost hooking up in the 13th minute. Another near opportunity for the Dash in the 33rd minute. Jordan Jackson just missing the header. Alyssa Nair out there to collect. For Boston, she had 6 huge saves, as we mentioned, against Seattle last week. Hasn't been tested as such in this matchup. And then Osinachi Ohale with the snap header But again, Nair up to the task, 1-0 through 45 minutes here in Houston. Those are the highlights. Let's check out the stats from the first half. Shots on goal in favor of the Dash. Corner kicks as well to the home side. Not a very physical game, just 4 fouls here in the first half. When we return, we've got a special guest in the broadcast booth with us. Can't be on the field, but Lauren Sesselman will be the third part of our broadcast team. When we return, it's the Dash 0, Boston Breakers 1. We'll be back in just a moment on CSN.
As a BBVA Compass customer, you have the chance to show your true colors every time you open your wallet.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Presenting Dynamo Banking, featuring debit and credit card options that can help you reach your goals. Open your account today at any of our 80 locations in Houston or online at bbvacompass.com/dynamo. Team works in soccer and in banking.
An exoskeleton, powered by brainwaves to help the paralyzed walk again. That's the difference between practicing medicine and leading it. Houston Methodist, leading medicine.
Deep in midfield, it slipped into Clark, trying to line up his way. There it is from Waldrum. Who's done just about anything else. Give it away, Brad Davis, and we are level.
Before and after every game, watch Dynamo pre- and post-game live, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Learn soccer the Dynamo way and start your path to the pros. The Houston Dynamo offer youth programs for every age and skill level, from a challenging introduction to soccer to intensive competition training and opportunities to play for the Dynamo Academy.
This is Ricardo Clark of the Houston Dynamo. The Dynamo youth programs offer the professional environment required to develop your game and prepare you for success.
To find out more or to register for Dynamo youth programs, visit HoustonDynamo.com.
Glad to have you back with us here at BBVA Compass Stadium. The Boston Breakers on top of the Houston Dash, 1-0 at the break. About to bring Lauren Sesselman in for an interview, but before we do that, let's show you one of the great goals of this NWSL season, courtesy of Lauren Cheney.
11 saves, the first goalkeeper to shut out Seattle.
Then again, over the goal line, it's in the goal from an impossible angle.
Olympico of sorts. I should have said Lauren Holiday. I'm formerly Lauren Cheney. Joined now by another Lauren Sesselman, Sebastian Salazar, Jen Cooper with you as well. Lauren, great to have you here.
Thanks
I know
for
you'd rather
me.
be on the field. Give us the latest on your ACL injury and the kind of where you're at.
Yeah, I'm about 4 months out, and it's just a frustrating process, but you just gotta, remain positive and stuff like that. So I just started running on the Ultra G, which is like the anti-gravity treadmill, and I'm about 75% body weight, so it's getting there. Slowly but surely.
And when did you come to Houston? And settle with the team?
I came a couple weeks ago. I was kind of doing my rehab back home where I got the surgery, just to kind of get acclimated to it and have my parents kind of help me through the whole first part of the process because it's very painful. And then came back down here to be with the team, and I'm very grateful to be here right now.
What's the toughest part? Is it the physical act of rehab or mentally kind of staying with it? Because it's not as much fun as playing soccer every day.
I would think for me, it's probably more the mental part, I think, because it's such a long process. It's a 9 to a year month process. So you'll hit little small goals and stuff like that, or you'll kind of get stuck and you're like, gosh, someone's doing more than me, and I'm kind of falling behind and stuff like that. So I think mentally is the most challenging, but you just kind of got to be positive every day, and you just kind of go for it. So.
Well, coming to Houston had to make you feel good that finally you get to experience being part of the Dash. What has your experience of Houston been so far, just the city?
It's amazing. I love it. I love the big city feel. I come from Green Bay, so it's kind of a small city. So I love it's a big sports town here, so I think that's great. It's great atmosphere, and the Dash and the Dynamo have a great organization for us to play it, and so I'm excited to be with the Dash. So.
When you look at kind of the last few weeks, I know it's tough. You're not going to criticize your teammates, but what have you seen as the difference over the last 3 games where maybe this team a month and a half ago seemed to be playing its best ball?
Yeah. I think right now we're still trying to figure out what fits, like what players work together the best, and, it's getting there. It's getting there. This is a growing year for us. We have a lot of talent on this team, and I think it's just finding what works and what doesn't work. And it's coming for us. Every team goes in waves, and I think we're just in that lower wave right now. But this is a great game right now, and I'm excited to see them push it out here in the second half. So.
Well, looking ahead to next summer, Canada hosting the 2015 Women's World Cup, and you are half Canadian, half American.
Yes.
I guess you really would just say you're all American, but you got the Canadian passport from your father.
Yes.
So tell us what it was like coming into the Canadian national team at a fairly late age compared to most players.
I've been with the team for about 3.5 years, and I've been waiting for my chance for a while, and it actually, nobody really knows, but it took me a while to get kind of the call into camp. I was sending video in for about 3 years and stuff like that, and then when they finally got a new coach, he was looking for new talent, and I got the opportunity, and I jumped right at it. I was 27, but I didn't care. I was feeling I was playing my best soccer. So I was just kind of taking the opportunity by the hand, and I was just like, let's go have some fun. And I'm just loving it, being a part of the team.
What's the buzz around Canada over the Women's World Cup? Have you been able to kind of get any sense?
Well, I think everyone's just really excited. Just to be hosting it is going to be phenomenal. And we have the best fans. I mean, we have fans that stick with us through thick and thin. So I think it's going to be a great tournament. All the cities are really excited. Everybody is just really excited. So.
All right, well, listen, thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Good luck with your rehab. I know it's not an easy process, but we'll look forward to seeing you on the field next season.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Second half between the Houston Dash and Boston Breakers. The home side trails at the break, 1-0.
As a BBVA Compass customer, you have the chance to show your true colors every time you open your wallet.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Presenting Dynamo Banking, featuring debit and credit card options that can help you reach your goals. Open your account today at any of our 80 locations in Houston or online at bbvacompass.com/dynamo. Team works in soccer and in banking.
A device that reads brainwaves to help the paralyzed walk again. A tiny isotope that detects Alzheimer's before any symptoms occur. A procedure that repairs heart valves without opening the chest. A better tomorrow made possible today. That's the difference between practicing medicine and leading it. Houston Methodist, leading medicine.
Before and after every game, watch Dynamo pre- and post-game live, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
I don't think think anybody is more conscious of the fact that he's still to score on the biggest stage and weighing himself. He needs to make a difference.
Release full weight! Will you break it up, Wayne?
The question is, can Neymar live up to the number 10 legend?
E foi assim, a noite passada, que Portugal venceu graças a Ronaldo, que quando...
Glad to have you back with us here at BBVA Compass Stadium on the east end of downtown Houston. After 45 minutes, the Houston Dash trail the Boston Breakers. Week 14 NWSL action here on CSN. Sebastian Salazar, Jen Cooper, along with you on the call. And Jen, big 45-minute stretch here for Randy Waldrum and company. They're taking on the 9th place team in the league. Houston currently in 8th. At home, this is a game not only do you want to take a point from, you probably want to take 3.
You need all 3. I mean, the standings have been very kind to the Dash the last several weeks as teams above the Dash have tied and Seattle continues to take points away from everybody above the Dash. But with just 8 games left, 9 games left, there's very little room for error. And if you can't beat this team, you're going to have an even harder time when you are at Portland, at Seattle, at Sky Blue. You've got not at Sky Blue, at Boston one more time. You've got your work cut out for you. And as he said, you know, if any game is a must-win game, this is it. Even though he doesn't want to put that kind of pressure on his players, they have to get it. This is it.
Boston in the middle of a marathon road stretch, the 5th of 7 straight games on the road. Their next home game not until August 3rd against Western New York.
And that's one of the challenges for this young league. You know, unlike Houston Dash and Portland Thorns really having access to their own stadiums, all the other teams have to rent somewhere. And, you know, they were able to get Harvard Stadium, which is a great in-town location for Boston, but it meant that they didn't get it for several weekends during the summer. So they were stuck with this middle of the season long road stretch, and that's tough on the team and tough on the fans.
Well, we just had Lauren Sesselman here in the broadcast booth with us. Canadian international, tore ACL earlier this year, so she's out for the season. But in talking about the upcoming Women's World Cup in Canada next summer, it's interesting, this league faces some pretty serious decisions about scheduling come 2015.
Unlike the WSA, which didn't have to deal with how to schedule around the Women's World Cup, and WPS dealt with it by taking off a couple weeks, but not a big break. NWSL has to figure out how to schedule around it when the bulk of their players will be in the Women's World Cup, and a decision has not been made yet if they're going to break the season in half, compress the season, only play after, only play before, and it's still a question mark from Canada on how their players will be involved.
We're underway here in the second half. Dash in need of at least 1 goal to salvage a point here at home, looking to avoid a 4-match losing streak. Our Randy Waldrum and company. So Kelly McFarland has entered the game for Houston. She replaces the Austrian international Nina Berger, who's off after 45 minutes. McFarland, a UNC graduate, in fact just walked a few months ago, this May, as she graduated down in Chapel Hill.
I'm betting Randy Waldrum's hoping to see some sparks between Ohio and McFarland as they were teammates for 4 seasons together at Chapel Hill.
A very mobile front two here for the Dash now between Henderson and Ojai. Let's see if their pace can create some issues for Boston. Courtney Jones will spray it wide to O'Reilly. Nice run from D'Agostino. Whitney Engen there to sweep away any further trouble from the visitors.
Another interesting point that Randy Waldrum brought up about next season is the Dash will have the ability to control when their players come back from Europe, because anyone that they sign at the end of the season, they have until September 6th to sign them for the following season. They can dictate, okay, you're on loan to this European club, as opposed to we're waiting for you to come back from the European club that you're under contract to.
Whitehill tries to slam it past Romero. Kyle now over the top to Jackson. Jackson into the box on her right foot. Shot, deflection just wide. A great track back run from Joanna Lohman. She gets her body in front of the ball and prevents Jordan Jackson from adding to her goal tally here on the season. Corner kick upcoming for Houston. Again, it'll be Megan Klingenberg, this time to offer up left-footed service and an in-swinger. Klingenberg, good ball in. Knotted on by McFarland to the back stick where Henderson awaits. Her left-footed volley in. McFarland crashing there with Nair. Nair with a hand to it. And Boston not only defends well, but transitions into the attack. O'Reilly helping the Breakers clear their own final third. And now Christy Mewis knocks it forward in between the two Houston center backs. So Hale nods it down to Edwards. Romero into Kyle. And the Dash doing well here. McFarland momentarily gets it stuck under her feet.
We've got the entire Boston bench up warming up on the sidelines.
Jackson racing in on Nair, who does well to stay in the box while collecting that ball. 4 minutes into the second half, no budge on the scoreline. Dash still trail 1-0. Mewis with the long ball forward. She was acquired late in 2013 in a trade that sent Sydney LaRue to Seattle. Two big name players involved in that swap. Mewis making her national team debut in February of last year.
And since then, her younger sister, Samantha, has made her national team debut. So they're the third pair of sisters to play together for the U.S. women.
Mewis on the ball now, finds Jasmine Reeves. Reeves out wide, Maddie Evans trying to chase it down. O'Hale. And O'Hale draws the foul. As Evans, another one of the Nittany Lions on this Boston outfit. It's whistled there for the reckless challenge. Center referee Bernard Hosu calls a foul there. Say this, he's not letting him get away with very much. A lot of the smaller ticky-tack fouls being whistled here this evening. Though again, not really an overtly physical match between these two. Ohio and O'Reilly. Get tangled up on that far sideline. Boston ball. Over the top here. Too long for Reeves. Thought about giving it a chase. Instead, McLeod will bring it into her own box. Dash looking for any type of life in the attack. A quick reminder, don't miss the Houston Dynamos. They take on Toronto FC on July 19th at 7:30 here at BBVA Compass Stadium. Tickets on sale now. For more information, log on to HoustonDynamo.com today. Edwards back to McLeod.
You think we'll see the Brazilian goalkeeper in that match?
Boy, he may have some counseling to go to. Julio Cesar, the first ever active MLS player to be involved in a World Cup semifinal. And in case you've been living under a rock, it did not go well. 7-1. About as shocking a sports result as I can remember in my lifetime. And that's not just soccer, that's any sporting event.
Jaw-dropping. Especially what it was, 5-6 goals just in the first half.
Oh, high. Good pressure from behind there to strip the ball from Mewis. Again, back checking, a big part of what the Houston Dash front line is asked to do. What's usually a 4-3-3 has warped into a 4-4-2 here for Randy Waldrum. Jordan Jackson applying pressure. Bianca Sierra, recently traded from Washington, will clear it out for the throw-in. Klingenberg all the way up to put this in play. She goes back to Becky Edwards. Edwards, another player on the long comeback from an ACL injury. Injured 10 games into the 2013 season while playing for Portland.
But she's had such a great comeback, has played every minute of the NWSL season for the Dash so far.
And done it in a fashion that would not suggest she had had such a catastrophic injury so recently. You know, talk about somebody that plays with reckless abandon. Becky Edwards goes right to the top of my list. Jackson turns on it. Slick ball over the top to Kyle. Kyle racing in. Collision in the box. Nair falls on it. Kyle looked like she nearly had the inside position on Muse right there.
Sliding in, Kyle doesn't get the ball, but hopes it's going to bobble out of Nair's hands, which it doesn't. Nair gets there first, smothers it.
How about Jordan Jackson? Again, very involved in her first start since May. Oh, high with a quick cross. Just slips under Jackson's foot. Ball cleared away, but only as far as Whitney and races to it. Now Engen, left-footed cross. Back stick, Jackson, header, still in. Oh, high. Can she keep it in? No. Ball just escapes the field of play. Goal kick to Boston, but the Dash pouring forward here in search of an equalizer. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Two different styles of play seen here tonight. Erin McLeod almost always rolling it out to her outside backs. Alyssa Nair with the long ball from the goal kick. Throw in Houston here in the 56th minute. Got our first action down on the Dash bench as Randy Waldrum sends a couple players into their warm-up routine.
Looks like Tiffany McCarty and Stephanie Oakes.
Ohio to Henderson. Ohio finds the ball, running into the box, right-footed shot, golazo! Kaylee Ohio, ladies and gentlemen. Kaylee Ohio on that magical right foot And boy, you are not going to find many better goals than that this season in all of the National Women's Soccer League.
I'm thinking that one needs to be on SportsCenter highlights as well. Keilio'o High breaking through. We knew it was coming. We just didn't know when. Second professional goal, equalizer in the 57th minute. You know she's feeling good, and Randy Waldrum's feeling good too.
Jen, you picked her as the player to watch. We know what Ohio brings to the table. She's got speed and tons of it, but that was not about her pace. That was about an incredible shot from outside the area. And suddenly we've got ourselves a ball game here with just over a half hour to play in Houston. We're all squared at 1.
What I admire most about Keilio'o High is she does not give up. She leads the team by far with shots on goal, but has not seen the goal production to match it. But she has not given up. She keeps fighting and fighting and fighting, and finally pays off.
That goal draws our first substitute from Tom Dirk into the Boston Breakers. He'll send in Molly Pathman. And she replaces Maddie Evans in midfield. O'Reilly's long ball. Not enough to find Reeves as Whitney Engen effectively boxed out the Boston attacker. So some special stuff right off the top of the first half, and then again the second half here at BBVA Compass Stadium. Your goal scorers, Keilio'o High, Katie Schepfer.
Now, a tie isn't going to do either of these teams much good. They're both going to want the win here, and I don't see the Dash sitting back and taking a tie. Still lots of soccer to play.
Klingenberg and Jackson there. Slight miscommunication. Now Reeves rounds McFarland, serves it in. Shot coming, and wow, just could not get her hips squared to goal. But if not, Katie Schepfer again in a very dangerous position. Took that cross so well on the first touch and nearly made it 2-1. Poor distribution out of the back. Cost the Dash possession. And Boston will send Christy Mewis all the way up to take the throw-in. Outside backs really for both of these teams been the story in this one. O'Reilly and Mewis dominant down the flanks. Ari Romero getting involved. Megan Klingenberg, her first start at left back for the Dash. Romero up to Ohio. Has it stripped from behind. D'Agostino, through ball intercepted. Henderson now to Jackson. Jackson's a 2-on-1. Ohio in behind the defense on her left foot. Ohio 2 for 2! And the Dash were ahead in the 60th minute. Keilio'o High with her second goal of the half, and the Dash are suddenly on top, 2-1. My, how quickly things can change here at BBVA Compass Stadium.
The Dash have not led since that game against Western New York on June 11th. Also
happens to be Houston's last win. Melissa Henderson will steer it towards midfield. Give the newcomer credit. It was her one-time pass that sprung that attack. Jordan Jackson picking up the assist on Ohio's 60th minute goal. I want to talk about a player buzzing with confidence right now. It's Kaylee Ohai.
Suddenly, she's got 3 professional goals, not 1, and she's just 1 behind the Dash leader, Tiffany McCarty, who's got 4 on the 2014 season.
Have a drop ball here, about 20 yards, 30 yards from the Dash goal. Kaylin Kyle will send it down to Alyssa Nair. Jackson on the end of this one, nearly got to it. Wow. The youngsters tonight really rewarding Randy Waldrum for his faith.
First round draft pick and 4th round draft pick feeding off of each other, almost making the magic happen again.
So Ohio's goals coming within 4 minutes of each other officially. Impressive stuff from the former UNC Tar Heel. Courtney Jones with room to shoot. She sends it high over Erin McLeod.
Similar to what she tried in Seattle last weekend and succeeded at, taking a ball from distance and getting it past Hope Solo. But that one was a little bit easier for Erin McLeod to read.
The Dash back in the driver's seat. Up 2-1 here in the 64th minute. Still a long way to go here at BBVA Compass Stadium. Schepfer sprays it wide to Mewis. Mewis into the box on that left foot. She'll serve it to the back post here. Klingenberg wisely steers it out of bounds. Corner kick, though, coming for the Boston Breakers as they now come in search of an equalizer. O'Reilly to serve. Drives it in. Well hit. Ohale rises and clears. Jackson racing out. Looking for Ohio. Simply pumps it forward. And Sierra will go long as well. McFarland brings it down. Nice give and go between McFarland and Kyle. Ball over the top to Henderson. Flag stays down. Henderson in there and a race in there. Just by the skin of her teeth. Manages to clear that out. Canadian international Kem Azurike approaching the Boston bench. Could be an option to sub here for Tom Durkin. Fancy move on the sideline. The ball out of bounds. Goal kick to the visitors. Also on the near sideline, Ella Masser joins the warm-up routine for Houston. One-time ball from Romero. Great first touch from Ohio. Couldn't fight off Mewis, though. Becky Edwards, slick pass. Ohio turns, looking to wheel and deal. Chase from behind. And Molly Pathman. Here's McFarland. McFarland wanted Henderson. And I think Henderson wanted that ball to feet. And Instead, McFarland was looking to play her into the space behind the Boston defense. Either way, Breaker's throw. And Henderson here with a challenge. Reeves across midfield to D'Agostino. Heather O'Reilly, again, that left foot, been so dangerous all night, and what a switch here. Can Pathman get to it? She runs out of real estate, 67th minute, goal kick to Houston. A reminder, keep up with Keeper Notes to stay in touch with really all the latest women's soccer news on Facebook, Twitter, and at keepernotes.com. Remember, you better keep her notes. So it will be Ezerike coming on. 5'11" forward. Joining the fray here as she'll replace Bianca D'Agostino.
Another first-round draft pick getting into the action tonight.
Romero given some space here. Had to slide it along the outside of that Boston defense. Too much pace on it. Stephanie Oakes approaching the fourth official for Houston. Randy Waldrum set to make his second substitution of the match. In the meantime, we'll have a corner kick for Boston. Just over 20 minutes to play here in Houston. The Dash on top now, looking to snap a 3-match losing streak and pick up 3 immensely valuable points if Houston is to actually make a late season surge at playoff contention. First, they've got to fend off this set piece. Good service in. Ezerike rises. I believe it was headed by Lohman.
3 points will tie them for 7th with 16 points with Sky Blue, but they will have played 1 fewer game than Sky Blue. More importantly, separates them from Boston and keeps them in the hunt.
Ari Romero will check out of the game. Stephanie Oakes comes in. So Oakes, who has transitioned from wing player to outside back, but primarily playing on the left side as she's left-footed, will now come into the right back spot. Yet another tall ask for the youngster out of San Diego from head coach Randy Waldrum. Megan Klingenberg looking for a way out here. She'll go to Becky Edwards, and Edwards chooses the safe play all the way back to Erin McLeod.
Getting Oakes on the field gives Randy Waldrum more options when it comes to corner kicks. So not just Klingenberg taking the kicks, but also Oakes, who has taken the bulk of the corner kicks for the Dash this season.
Klingenberg with a nice switch here to put Oakes in. Oakes trying to hook up with Henderson, does so. Nice ball through. Henderson into the middle. Henderson on that left foot. Cleared away by Boston. Dash looking for a knockout punch. It is something that has frankly eluded this team most of the season. Let's see if they can find it here at home. Edwards finds Ohai, who has some time and space. Henderson trying to feed it to her front-running partner.
And considering she's really never practiced with these players, she's having no trouble finding the combinations with the players around her.
Henderson brought over Wednesday from FC Kansas City. Here's O'Reilly into the attacking third for Boston. O'Reilly on her left foot, shot right at Erin McLeod. No trouble for the Canadian keeper. "20 minutes to go here in Houston. Too long for the Dash to really sit back and hope to hold on. Not really in the DNA makeup of this team to do that anyway.
Well, at least they know they don't have to face overtime and PKs like the World Cup teams. 90 and done.
Pathman working against Oakes, cuts it past the dash defender, cross in, but Engen there to clear. Only as far as Schepfer. Schepfer shot. Oakes one time and manages to knock it out for a throw-in. But here comes Boston, and on that far side, Engen is down.
She got a foot on it, kept it out of the net, but I think she took that a little too hard. We'll see.
As we've got this break and play while Engen back to her feet. Both Boston and a few dash players running over to get some water. It's almost a mass exodus every time there's a minimal break. And today is not, by Houston standards, been all that hot. Or really all that humid. As far as a July game, you're not really going to do much better. As Enrique with her back to goal, fights off Engen, plays in Pathman.
But playing the attacking style that Randy Waldrum likes to play, I think it puts extra pressure physically on the players. I remember Brian Ching telling me, you know, one of the things he convinced Randy to do when they originally allocated Melissa Tancredi, you know, after Ching having gone through the adjustment to playing in Houston, he goes, really, you need younger players if they're going to survive in this heat. So no offense to the Tank, but they had to go younger.
Oh, high, surging forward now. Rounds Mewis. In on Lohman. Oh, high. Oh, high. Oh, high! Just over the top. Boy, Jen, she's feeling it.
She found the confidence. She wasn't passing that off to anyone. Just a little dip down, and we would have seen her third goal of the night. I'm sure she would have loved to have a hat trick, but it's just so great to see the confidence flowing out of her and the options that she had. There were player on either side that, you know, three-prong attack right there.
Pathman ahead to Ezerique. Picks out Jones. Jones has it stripped by McFarland, but not without a foul, says center F. Bernard Hosu. And now a yellow card issued to Becky Edwards in the 74th minute. I can only assume from up here for dissent. Edwards not the player that was whistled for the foul and appeared to say something to the center official as she was walking away. So we take a second look at it. Ball served into the dash area but cleared away. McFarland wins a one-on-one battle with Heather O'Reilly on the far side. Springs Ohio, and Ohio now has Henderson. Henderson in one-on-one. Henderson shot. And Alyssa Nair there to deny. Great build-up from the dash.
Nair read that pretty well. She was pretty far out of her box. Melissa Henderson might have done better to chip it over the keeper, as we've seen happen to McLeod a couple times this season.
Jasmine Reeves into the box. Oakes playing catch-up. Reeves across McLeod there, and good thing she was, as Enrique knocking at the door. 15 minutes to play. The dash now pumped forward. Klingenberg into McFarland. This game opening up. Jackson made the run in behind. McFarland held it a little too long. Henderson not quitting on this. She's going to chase it down into the corner. Bianca Sierra knocks it off. A former Notre Dame star. And Randy Waldrum will use his last sub here. It's Jordan Jackson, who has been a live wire all night, coming out in favor of Ella Masser. And you can tell Jordan is a rookie. She ran off the field with her team leading by a goal with 15 minutes to play. Then I think she got the nonverbal cues from Masser and the Dash coaching staff and
slow it down.
Walked off the last few steps. We'll forgive her for her lack of gamesmanship.
Well, and speaking to Randy Waldrum earlier today, he talked about that Ella Masser had kind of been pushed into a midfield position these last few games with Jordan out. So it's nice to have that option back, that she can play. Masser can be midfield or forward, which is really where she's best.
McFarland on the ball. Manages to find Henderson. Another good one-touch pass from Henderson with her back to goal. A quick reminder, don't miss the Dash. They'll take on the Washington Spirit on July 17th here at BBVA Compass Stadium. Tickets on sale now. Check out houston-soccer.com for more. Masser in the corner. Drops it to Klingenberg. Klingenberg and McFarland. One-touch stuff, well done. Edwards from distance. Edwards, a shot right at Nair. Nair hangs on, but a good effort from distance from Becky Edwards. Boston now on the counter. Pathman's pass intercepted. Edwards wanted Klingenberg. Klingenberg had a path to goal, but the touch too long from Edwards. Another substitution coming up here, it appears, for Boston. Chelsea Stewart on the near sideline. Christy Mewis pulled down. Free kick coming for the Breakers. Stewart, part of that bronze medal winning team for Canada in the 2012 Summer Games. McFarland with a late challenge there, perhaps lucky to get away with a yellow card. Joanna Lohman draws the foul. Chip over the top, but Erin McLeod plugged in here. She races off her line to catch it. 78th minute, 2-1 Dash. Back-to-back goals from Kaylee Ohai in a 5-minute stretch earlier this half has Houston on the verge of their first win since June 11th. McLeod to Oates, Pathman. There to defend. Long ball from Ohale. Falls to Alyssa Nair. Difficult ball out of midfield. Mewis can't deal with it. And Tom Durkin will send Chelsea Stewart into the game. She replaces the Boston goal scorer, Katie Shepfer, who struck in just the 4th minute to put the Breakers up 1-0. She exits in the 79th, replaced by Stewart, who played her college ball at UCLA.
And won the NCAA title this past fall.
Stephanie Oakes into Masser, leaves it for Henderson. Henderson tried to lay it off for Ella, but could not do so. Stewart will leave it here for Heather O'Reilly. Look at that. Center back pairing of Whitney Engen and Osinachi Ohale has been on point this evening. They break up another Boston attack there. Oakes steps in now, and Masser dancing on it in midfield, will play it back out to the San Diego native. Henderson crashed into from behind, no whistle. Dash putting together a nice string of possession here. Mewis heads it out.
That cohesion we were looking for in the first half, I think it's here.
Took about an hour. 10 minutes into this half, Houston came to life. Masser gonna beat Kat Whitehill to this one. Tried to keep it in. Did she manage to knock it out for a throw-in? Yes. So Boston will have the ball, but in the most uncomfortable position of all, deep in their own end. Dash players coming up to try and fence in the Breakers. Masser with a touch to Ohai. Ohai, the low cross. Lohman wins it and clears. Reeves fights off a couple of Dash defenders, now sprays it to the right side, and Heather O'Reilly. O'Reilly venturing far from her right back position. To Molly Pathman. Pathman trying to find Azarike. Not going to win that battle against Whitney Engen. Ball out of bounds. Goal kick Houston. Dash 10 minutes away from what would be the 5th win of the season for Randy Waldrum and company. Lohman, great win. It's Kaylee O'High who comes out of that with the ball. Oaks to O'High, who can turn with space now. She'll do just that. O'High across the middle. Bit of a miscommunication. Masser bails Houston out with a quick one-touch, and it'll work its way back to Kalia here. Kalia right past Mewis. Kalia, cross, into the box. Henderson there. Henderson in behind the defense. And we've got a whistle, and we've got a penalty kick in the 82nd minute for Houston.
Now the question is, Sebastian, who's going to take it? Teresa Noyola not available.
So the ball took a deflection there off Bianca Sierra. She's called for the handball and a chance to maybe ice it here with just under 10 minutes to play. It will be Ella Masser from the spot. Save Nair! Alyssa Nair standing on her head with a monster stop to keep it 2-1. And the penalty kick woes continue for the Dash here at home.
Struck well by Masser, but just not wide enough, and Nair read her body language well. That's got to give a boost of confidence to the Boston defense. So apparently only Teresa Noyola can convert penalty kicks for the Dash.
Klingenberg with a fancy touch right there. McFarland on it. Trying to push past Stewart. Ball comes in now to Kyle. Kyle rose well to win it. Couldn't get enough on it to steer it back towards the goal. 84th minute, and boy, chances like that.
It keeps the door open for Boston. I mean, the way their shoulders sagged after that PK was called, you know, you saw the body language say, not again. But for Nair to make that save keeps them in this game.
And that's really what great goalkeepers do. You can see why she's drawn the attention of the new head coach of the U.S. women's national team, Jill Ellis.
And she was the Golden Glove winner for the 2008 Under-20 U.S. team that won the championship in Chile.
Pathman's cross blocked away by Kyle. The Dash in desperate defensive mode here as we approach the 90th minute. 5 to play at BBVA Compass Stadium. Corner kick here will be taken by Courtney Jones. 6 players in the box for Boston. O'Halley nods away. It'll be yet another corner for the visitors, this time to be taken by longtime U.S. international Heather O'Reilly. O'Reilly drives it in with the laces. Joanna Lohman brings it down. Second touch cleared by Masser. And Becky Edwards knocks it ahead to Chelsea Stewart. Stewart will maintain possession for Boston as she goes all the way back to Bianca Sierra. Trouble here for the Breakers. Kaylee O'High nearly plucked one away. Instead, O'Reilly comes back towards the Houston end. Service into Reeves. Reeves, the header. Mewis, left-footed ball in. McLeod on her line, gathers calmly. This game really starting to open up. Boston throwing everything forward in the Dash, looking to kill the visitors on the counter. It's O'High and Stewart. O'High past Stewart. O'High on her left foot. Slots it across Henderson. Henderson's first shot blocked. Second effort, and it'll be Boston. Again, dodging another bullet as the Dash come close to a third. Klingenberg One-touch pass back all the way to Erin McLeod, who will take her time in distribution. 86th minute here at BBVA Compass Stadium. No pressure from Boston. McLeod not forced to play it forward. Now does so. Kat Whitehill wins the header. Stewart awkwardly brings it down. Manages to find Jasmine Reeves. And from behind, McFarland hacked down on this side of midfield. Time keeps on ticking. And for the first time in about a month, the clock on the side of the Houston Dash. 4 minutes plus stoppage time left to play. McLeod sends it into the corner. Ojai can't get to it. Goal kick to Boston. Alyssa Nair will quickly put this one back in play. Goal in the 4th minute from Katie Schepfer. 2 goals from Kaylee Ojai just on this side of halftime. The difference for Houston. Heather O'Reilly. O'Reilly almost found Ezerike. A desperate touch from O'Hale. Kept it from the Canadian international. Kat Whitehill now abandoning her defensive duties in search of an equalizer. Lohman on the ball. Will spray it wide to Molly Pathman. Pathman and Oakes. Pathman on that left foot. Cross deflected by Oakes. McLeod gets up and catches it. Tense final moments at BBVA Compass Stadium. Clear manages to find Kaylee Ojai. Ojai on it now. Henderson, 1-on-3. She wisely goes back to Kelly McFarland. The North Carolina influence evident on this Dash roster. Loose touch from Klingenberg. Trouble here. Reeves in. Chased down by Engen. Ezerike. Ezerike shot. Save McLeod. One Canadian not good enough to beat another.
McLeod looking so much more confident than the first half. She read that well, wasn't phased. You see the whole confidence level of the whole Dash team just so much higher than that first half. Thanks to the brace from Kaylee Ojai and the hard work of Jordan Jackson.
A true test here for this young team. See if they can close this game out. And how about the effort all night from Melissa Henderson? Her first real exposure to this Houston heat and humidity, and she will go the full 90 for her college coach, Randy Waldrum. Kyle wins the header but called for the foul as she was leaning over the shoulders of Kat Whitehill. Mewis smashes it forward with the left foot. Reeves on it into the box. Reeves shot, McLeod to save! Erin McLeod preserving the win here for Houston. And McLeod goes down. We're going to have a stoppage in play as we get a second look at the chance from Jasmine Reeves.
Looks like they go knee to knee after McLeod makes that save. She gets back up on her feet, then starts feeling it. She's still standing. That's good.
McLeod, a warrior in every sense of the word. No option but to continue here tonight. We have hit the 90th minute. Stoppage time, 4 minutes of it left at BBVA Compass Stadium. Corner kick coming in. Lohman with the header. And last touch by the Boston midfielder. Goal kick Houston. Heroics from Erin McLeod to deny Jasmine Reeves, who worked her way through a couple of Dash defenders on that sequence.
And it's been said before, but it bears repeating. Goalkeepers can't win games, but they can keep you in them.
Really enjoyed watching the battle tonight between Joanna Lohman, Becky Edwards, Kaylin Kyle in midfield. Real gritty performance on both ends of this one. Molly Pathman trying to find some space in the final third. She does just that until Whitney Engen says, "No mas, thou shalt not pass." And the ball last touched by Pathman. Dash will take their time inbounding. Again, no rush for Houston to put this in play. Tom Durkin up off his bench, trying to encourage faster play from the home side. But again, Dash keep advancing up the field, taking these throw-ins. They'll do that from here until the end. So we await a final whistle from center referee Bernard Hosu.
And we've seen the games from the Dash where they've lost focus in just the last minute of the game to give up a tie or worse. But they seem calm, controlled, and possessing the ball well. I think they've taken Randy's message to heart about, how to finish off a game.
And Ella Masser, a veteran move right there in the corner. Very few options, double team, yet manages to win the throw in for Houston. It'll be Kaylin Kyle to take it. Molly Pathman fouled. And not a bad spot for the Dash to give up a free kick. Randy Waldrum up off his bench, crouched at the edge of his technical area. Engen rises and clears with her head. Masser smashed into by Courtney Jones. Jones will earn a yellow card as Masser stays down. And that is Jones' 5th yellow card of the season. Earn her a 1-game suspension from the league. The other player involved in that challenge, Ella Masser, also sitting on 4 yellow cards entering tonight. Certainly seemed like the elbow from Jones came in a little bit high there and caught Masser, perhaps on the side of the head.
And Ella wants to just get up and finish the game, hear that final whistle, but you got to play it safe, especially if that was a knock to the head.
We know all about the severity of concussions. The Dash have dealt with it. Jordan Jackson missing a couple games earlier this year. Of course, the Houston Dynamo have dealt with it. Ricardo Clark missed 9 straight MLS matches earlier this year. Dynamo got him back last week.
It looks like they're just going to take her straight off the field. That's probably the best bet.
And Masser walking off under her own power. That's a good sign. Here's the bad news. The Dash will be reduced to 10 players the rest of the way. I can't imagine there's much time left as we are deep into stoppage time. Long ball forward. Dash going to get a corner kick. Great opportunity here to kill this match off. Ball headed out by Christy Mewis. Boston players trying to help get this one in a bit quicker. But Stephanie Oakes, Kaylee Ohai, not in any rush. They'll play it short. Ohai in the corner, fighting off Joanna Lohman. And she wins the throw-in. Henderson shielding well. Oakes now on it. And she'll give up possession. But well done from Houston there to keep it in the Boston end. Good win from Kaylin Kyle. Important as the Dash keep it. Stephanie Oakes tried to hammer it in there and instead knocks it off Henderson. Boston in emergency mode now. Surely this is the last chance for the Breakers. Chelsea Stewart ahead to O'Reilly, who's been a threat all night. Running at Kelly McFarland. O'Reilly, down goes McFarland. Cross blocked out of bounds by Kaylee Ohai. checking all the way back to defend. At the desk, Boston will come in search of an equalizer. Everybody in the box for the Breakers. Cross comes in. McLeod over the top of Ezerique. And ladies and gentlemen, we are done and dusted here in Houston. The Dash add 3 points to their season tally in dramatic fashion. Aaron McLeod the hero, as is Kaleo High. The final score, Houston Dash 2, Boston Breakers 1. Coming up next on CSN, it's Sportsnet Central. Stick with us online. Highlights coming your way as the Dash pick up their 5th win of the 2014 NWSL campaign.
As a BBVA Compass customer, you have the chance to show your true colors every time you open your wallet.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Presenting Dynamo Banking, featuring debit and credit card options that can help you reach your goals. Open your account today at any of our 80 locations in Houston or online at bbvacompass.com/dynamo. Team works in soccer and in banking.
Making isotopes that can detect Alzheimer's before any symptoms occur. That's the difference between practicing medicine and leading it. Houston Methodist, leading medicine.
Deep in midfield, slipped into Clark, trying to line up his way. There it is from Waldrum.
Who's done just about anything else. Give it away, Brad Davis, and we are level.
Before and after every game, watch Dynamo pre- and post-game live, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Learn soccer the Dynamo way and start your path to the pros. The Houston Dynamo offer youth programs for every age and skill level, from a challenging introduction to soccer to intensive competition training and opportunities to play for the Dynamo Academy.
This is Ricardo Clark of the Houston Dynamo. The Dynamo youth programs offer the professional environment required to develop your game and prepare you for success.
To find out more or to register for Dynamo youth programs, visit HoustonDynamo.com.
A wild second half goes in favor of the hosts. Houston Dash topping the Boston Breakers tonight, 2-1. Welcome back to BBVA Compass Stadium. Sebastian Salazar joined by Jen Cooper. It's a bit of a relief for Randy Waldrum and company. They came in on a 3-match losing streak, but get a spirit-lifting win this evening.
Well, and we've all been waiting for it, and I don't think anybody's been waiting for it longer than Kaleo High herself. But the breakthrough that we knew would eventually come, and she found it tonight. All that hard work she's put in, the confidence finally building to get that second half brace, put her team ahead. It's got to feel great for her.
It was at your urging that we made her our player to watch in the pregame. She certainly earned that honor. Also earned player of the match honors here at BBVA Compass Stadium, announced just a few moments ago. Let's check out the highlights from the second half. And I tell you what, it was a wild 45 minutes. Got off to a great start for Houston. Jordan Jackson involved early. That may have been a goal, if not for a last-moment intervention from Joanna Lohman. Then in the 57th minute, Kaleo High getting in. And, I mean, Jen, this is the stuff of legends. What a goal.
That's got to be on ESPN's top 10.
It'll certainly be on the Sportsnet Central highlights here in Houston later tonight. A golazo of sorts. And then just 4 minutes later, Ohio with her second of the night on a great feed from Jordan Jackson. You see the reaction from Randy Waldrum and company there. Jackson nearly returned the favor on a good pass from Ohio, but Alyssa Nair, credit to her. She was so big for Boston all night, really keeping the Breakers in it.
And Ohio didn't stop. Chance after chance she took on goal and lifted the whole confidence of the team, even Becky Edwards getting in.
Nair's biggest save of the evening right there in the 83rd minute, denying the penalty kick from Ella Masser. And then at the end, Erin McLeod with a huge save to keep this thing 2-1 to the Houston Dash. Jen, your thoughts on a match that fortunately for Houston went their way late, but there was an opportunity there for Boston to maybe steal a point.
Well, I think Randy Waldrum's coaching and draft picks and all of his trades, we're seeing how they're paying off. Bringing in Melissa Henderson late, throwing her in the starting lineup, most coaches would probably not take that risk. Randy took the risk and it paid off. Her combination play, I think the energy she brought to the other players, and the confidence gained by Kalia High.
And Henderson will not be credited with an assist on that first goal, but it should be noted, Jen, she was the one that starts that play with a beautiful one-touch pass in midfield. All right, when we return, well, we won't return. This is it. We got to go.
This is it.
Thanks for watching.
Till next week.
Yeah, till next week. We'll see you here on CSN for all your Houston Dash coverage, also the home of the Houston Dynamo. Thanks for watching. Again, the final score from here at BBVA Compass Stadium. The Houston Dash 2, the Boston Breakers 1, as Houston's expansion side picks up 3 huge points. Have a good night.